Viva NYDA, viva! We are young and we are alive. We are young and we are alive. President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, Mr. J.G. Zuma, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Mr. Jeff Radebe, and all ministers present, Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Mr. Buti Manamela, and all Deputy Ministers present, the Deputy Executive Chairperson of the NYDA, Mr. Kenny Morolong, and all board members of the NYDA present, together with the NYDA CEO, Mr. Katura Makumba. Let me also greet in our midst the President of the Pan-African Youth Union, Ms. Francine Lumunya, who joins us today at this very auspicious occasion. Premier of the Gauteng Province, Mr. David Makura, and all premiers present. The Acting Mayor of Tshwane Metro Municipality, Councillor Mabusela, Comrade Winnie Mandela, George Bizos, Ashish Takar, and all distinguished guests who are present. Leadership of the Progressive Youth Alliance, fellow South Africans. The major factor of hope is the youth. In 1976, the youth of our country gave hope to a crying nation to break free from racial oppression. Today, the hope of our country lies once again in the youth to ensure peace and prosperity for all. As young South Africans, we must accept the responsibilities of today that go with the opportunities of today. The responsibility to end racism and all forms of discrimination. The responsibility to end poverty and class inequality. The responsibility to ensure that our people have access to basic services. The responsibility to care for the elderly. These are our responsibilities as the youth of today. And fundamentally, the responsibility to be educated, productive, and contributing citizens. We are pleased that more young leaders are in cabinet than ever before, and we must salute them for leading us with great humility and idealism. As the youth, we must talk about racism and we must end it. We must talk about class inequalities and we must end it. Let us not be swayed by the dictates of past generations and the diverse elements in our society. Let us make up our own minds and declare unequivocally that race and class shall be a thing of the past. The power of our diversity can lead to greater socio-economic advances and more opportunities for all of us to prosper. Thus, we must unite in action. In the lake of our democracy lurks the two-headed serpent of racism and tribalism. It is only when this poisonous serpent is destroyed and buried in the graveyard of apartheid sins that we will truly experience the joy and pleasures of a united democracy. Government and the private sector have an equal responsibility to develop our youth. Every government department must have a youth development program. Every local municipality must have a youth-built infrastructure program to train young artisans. The private sector must boldly invest in youth and youth development programs for the empowerment of our young people. Since inception in 2009, the National Youth Development Agency, or NYDA, has assisted more than 6 million young people with some kind of product or service to better their lives. The NYDA grant program for youth-owned micro-enterprises has been extremely successful, and the Solomon Mahlangu Scholarship in memory of our great fallen hero, Comrade Solomon Kalushli Mahlangu, continues to promote a culture of excellence, rewarding the poor and rural who excel in their studies. As the NYDA will continue to prioritize programs on education and entrepreneurship, we remain focused on our mandate to mainstream youth development into society and to facilitate youth development with all sectors of society. We will move with speed, Honorable President, to develop the integrated youth development strategy for the implementation of the new National Youth Policy 2020. This policy will provide the guiding framework for all social partners on matters of youth development. We will work tirelessly to ensure that a minimum of 1 million young South Africans will enroll onto the National Youth Service Program. And by so doing, we will make community service fashionable amongst the youth of our country. In celebrating 60 years of the Freedom Charter, we must celebrate the progress made in opening the doors of learning and culture for all. As we do so, we must acknowledge that many deserving young people still struggle to access education and higher education in particular. We must celebrate the great strides we have made in promoting a culture of entrepreneurship amongst the youth of today, whilst we acknowledge that many young and established entrepreneurs still lack the means to be job creators and future captains of industry. We must celebrate the defeat of the apartheid regime, and in doing so, we must acknowledge that much more needs to be done for the gains of our democracy to be felt by the toiling masses of our country. Former President Nelson Mandela once said, "I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made mistakes along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can rest only for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk has not yet ended." We call and we say to all young people, let us be like Madiba and continue the long walk to peace and plenty for all. I thank you.